Scientific Pythons by maintainers for maintainers. I'm Pompey. I'm working at one site. And first of all, let's start with some big news, which just came out today. We're now officially fiscally sponsored by NumFocus. So thank you very much, NumFocus, and thanks everyone.
It may not be on the website yet, but that's just paperwork.
It just came out today, yeah. So very, very fresh. We just received the email. And so, yeah, what is Scientific Python? So in case you did not attend the other sessions we're having, Scientific Python is a community developed and owned group of people coming from a lot of projects like SciPy, NumPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, and others. And so it's community and maintainers driven. And here we are going to focus on this presentation on the maintainers aspect of things. So what is the Scientific Python ecosystem community doing for all maintainers of all the projects? And so let's start with something which is called SPEC. So SPECs are Scientific Python ways of saying PEP. And so in a lot of other projects, you have SLIPs, NEP. I don't remember the other names in other communities. And what we're trying here to do is to have a central place, a repository or registry, how you want to call it, of good practices and things we would want people to adopt. So a few examples here are, for instance, the minimum supported versions. You may know NEP from NumPy. They have a guideline about how to support NumPy version, which one they support and which Python version is supported. And so when this guideline was created by NumPy, Scientific Python did not exist yet. And here we're trying to say, okay, instead of our, on top of using the NEP, let's have a general guidelines for the whole Scientific Python ecosystem to say, how long should we support Python versions and what is the guideline for my package? How should I evolve with respect to dependency, deprecation warnings and things like that. And so there are a few things, a few initiatives we've been doing. So that was the first one. Then there is the SPEC one, lazy loading. Maybe you've heard there is now an official PEP 590, which is going to do some lazy loading. And the discussions we were having in the SPEC committee and things like that was heard by the PEP people. And so this work influenced in some ways the work that the PEP steering committee was doing. So we're already seeing some, yes?
I think it's 690.
Sorry, 690, PEP 690. So there are already some concrete outcome of these initiatives. And other ones are in scikit image, for instance, they are using this mechanism as well. In SciPy, we implemented a flavor of this. So it's moving forward. And there are a few other initiatives we're trying to do. And in gray, it's just ideas that we have. Because one of the goals of this presentation that I'm giving you today is for you maintainers to try with us to think about what we should formalize. And if you have ideas like, oh, maybe we should standardize math formatting. If you see my previous talk, I would like this to be formalized so that we can finally have black formatting math properly, things like that. And so if you have ideas, come to us, please. So moving on to other initiatives we're having, we are now having a modern theme, which is a Hugo theme. So Hugo is a statistics site website generator. And it's actually the theme which is used now by SciPy and NumPy. So you may have seen now we have some new landing pages for both organizational websites of SciPy and NumPy. And the great thing about this initiative is that we are now sharing things. We're sharing codes to how to make this kind of nice looking landing pages, which are responsive and which are just maintainable, and so that we can evolve all together. So you don't have to repeat yourself all the time. And so it's a fast theme. It's very flexible, and it's very flexible in the sense as well of if something is missing, just reach out to us and we will make the change. Or even better, you can make the change and everybody can benefit from that. That's really the message of this presentation is we can do some things, but you as well, you can do a lot of things that we cannot, and we really need your help. We're looking for Hugo developers, for instance, or people with CSS experiences, because you might not like these colors, or I don't know, you want to improve something, to have something shinier or something else. So something else, calendars. You know that a lot of communities, we have community calls, newcomers meeting, steering committee meetings, things like that. And it's always a bit hard to, if you want to be aware of everything which is happening in the ecosystem, what's existing. So you need to go to all the individual organizations, try to find a page where they have, if they are advertising for this kind of meetups. And here we want to centralize everything. So if you have some community meetings, please take the time to look into how to add your community meetings calendars into this central place. So now SciPy, NumPy, Matplotlib, I will cheat NetworkX and Scikit image, for instance. We all move our calendars advertisement into this page, this central page, so that it's easier for everybody to see, when is happening this meeting or this meeting. So it's very useful. All these calendar, they are not like, we don't aggregate yet or make some grouping of calendars, so you can individually select what you want to subscribe to. But as maintainers, it's a great way to just make a quick announcement or when is your meeting happening. So it's just a small YAML file to add, and we are building this automatically, and it's updated in not even an hour. So just 2 days ago, Juan Luis was adding this for Polyastro during the talk, and at the end of the day, boom, it was already on the website. So please, you can follow his steps. Moving on to analytics now. You may be aware that Google Analytics, it's actually forbidden in Europe for various reasons, and some other Google projects are forbidden. And here we have an answer to that with Plausible. And so Plausible allows you to self-host a metric server. And so what does it mean concretely for your documentation or the page you want to monitor is that you add a small JavaScript call to every page that you want to monitor usage. And this is going just to register that a call was made with very little metrics. So you can go to the Plausible website to know exactly which metric are being tracked. It's very little. Plausible is very praised in the open source community and by all the actors in this on the web. And the good thing to note is that it's self-hosted. So the Scientific Python is self-hosting the server. So the data is with us. And if you're interested, it can be audited or anything. Why analytics are useful? It's useful not to serve ads or things like that. That's not our goal. You may have this goal, but that's not the what we want to push forward, advertise. We need analytics, for instance, in SciPy to know which features are being used. It's simple as that. If we know that a particular feature we want to retire is very used because the web page seemingly gets a lot of hit, we can say, maybe we don't retire this feature, or we need to find something else. Or if a tutorial is being visited often, maybe it's because something else is not clear, or we can try to understand the use of the library. So it's very useful for this, to move the project forward, to write grant as well, to know how many hits you have on the project. Various reasons why you need analytics. So not just ads. That's what I want to really emphasize. Next, we have a blog. So community blog. Here, Matplotlib, for instance, they move all their blog posts into our blog. So we're very, very grateful for them. So thank you very much, Matplotlib. And we also have, so SciPy started to make some blog. NetworkX is doing some. Now some Google Summer of Code project are being reported there. We invite you all to submit blog posts. The message here is that it should be easy to add a blog post here on this platform. So it's just some simple markdown to write. It's via pull request. And we don't have the same constraint as when you make a pull request to add a tutorial to NumPy, for instance. So here it should be easy to add a tutorial, a use case, something that you found interesting using the PyData stacks and the Scientific Python stack. So something that other could benefit from. It can be really anything, as long as it's, of course, Python and in scope with all the software that we're using. Should not be promotional for your company. At least it should not be the main message of the article. But we really invite everybody to post anything. So moving on to the community part of the Scientific Python. We're trying to move away a bit from the mailing list to have something a bit more modern in a sense. So the mailing lists are replaced by Disqus and Discord. So if you're not aware of it, Disqus is more a forum-like website. So it would replace a mailing list basically. And so it's searchable. So a search engine can index it. You can have some tips, some documentation, some user interact with user, and some frequently asked questions, things like that. And Discord is more a live chat, more like Slack or things like that. And so the goal here is to have a way to interact not only with newcomers, but also maintainers to talk with each other in sync. So some people don't like to talk in sync, and it's fine. We are not compelling anybody to come and talk and show your face or anything like that. But some people, like me, for instance, I love to talk to people, and I've been making great contribution with other SciPy maintainers because we were able to just interact with each other. When we're stuck on a pull request, we can just, let's hop on a call and let's just do it quick. And the great thing here is that it's not going to be just for one project, this Discord and this Disqus. It's going to be for all the Scientific Python project, meaning that if you have a project, an issue on SciPy, NumPy, or Matplotlib, or 3 at the same time, you could potentially hop on a call with all these people or get help from all these people. So that's what we're trying to do. And something else that managing all these kind of services, same as a website or anything, it requires some technical skills in these areas. So of course, it's trivial to start a Discord server like a basic one, but if you want more advanced features, more control to set some bots or some moderation, things like that, it can be hairy. And at some point, you will need some resources to invest in. So there is a maintenance cost. And here, basically, that would be zero maintenance cost for small project. So any project can just hop on to our servers. And again, everything is self-hosted. We own everything. We do backups and everything. So there should be no concern about that. And this can be, of course, audited. Now, dev statistics. Dev statistics, we noticed that on GitHub, if you go to insights when you have a project, you can see how many contributors there are on the project, some frequency statistics, things like that. But we thought that a few things were missing about, is the project currently healthy? If there are, how long does it take for a pull request to be from the creation to the merge? How long does it take usually for an issue to be closed? How many regular maintainers are there? Who are the person who are replying first to questions and things like that? So when you're writing grants, for instance, you need different metrics. When you're presenting your project to certain communities, you need other metrics. Here we're trying to have different metrics, to propose different metrics. And we invite, again, everybody, if you have ideas on other metrics, to submit these metrics so that we can just add them. And so there is still a long way to go here because we still need to set up some CI to have this running weekly or monthly, something else to have something more dynamic. And as I said, to add more metrics. So again, we really invite you to participate here in the discussion and to help us to do that. So again, that's the main message here. Is you have a voice. We are looking for people. It's starting. We are looking for maintainers, not only to join the project, to to identify yourself as belonging to Scientific Python, although you all belong to Scientific Python, but to maybe claim your space on Discord and things like that. But we also invite you to actively participate in building all the tools that we're providing to you and that we're all building together. We need Hugo experts, CSS experts, designers even. DevOps, authors for the blogs. The blog, we have just a few articles now, and it's very limited, but we invite everybody to write an article. And we need active participants in the community. So we are opening this Discord, which is a live chat. We'll have a lot of newcomers, maybe a lot of questions. We need people to answer questions, to moderate, anything. So if you want to join, if you want to be active here, if you want at some point to maintain something, we're very open. There are a lot of roles to take, a lot of responsibilities. We want to empower people to have responsibilities here. That's really something we're trying to push forward. So please join. So purposely, I made it a bit shorter because I would like now to hear your thoughts. If you have questions, if you have ideas for new specs, anything.
So I have a question. Does the views.scientificpython.org is going to be available to everyone, or?
Yes. So it depends.
Publicly accessible, just because we're not letting people just see everything. But
Because it has like a login screen, but I actually have a blog post.
So in the end, it will really depend as well on the project. So some project, they might not want to share their usage statistics and things like that. And so, yeah, if you want to benefit from the to add analytics to your service, to your project, please contact us. Right now, we don't have like a hard limit saying you need 2,000 stars or whatever to get the access. It's an open discussion at the moment. At some point, maybe we would have to do that because we cannot handle 1 trillion requests per second on these services. But at the moment, it's open, and it's up to then each project to say, do we want to open up the metric to people to see the metrics? That's a call you have to make as a.
You're on the Discord server. You can just mention ping Stefan
Yep.
or Theo, and we'll be happy to set things out. Work with you to set things up.
Mhm. Please.
My understanding is you're volunteering to host these services as a shared community infrastructure.
Yeah.
How do you work the legal liability for like the data for plausible and things like that? Are you accepting that liability for the individual project? Or is NumFocus accepting it for you, or like how does that?
I mean, I don't know.
I
Okay.
that's something we have to figure out.
I guess we should talk
Yeah.
about them, so what are the legal liabilities for holding this metric, I guess?
I think GDPR, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, you say it's compliant. There's obviously legal questions
Yes, we
around
probably
that.
Sure.
screening that stuff. I mean, it should be minimal, but
Plausible claims that they are GDPR compliant. That's
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
That's
Pushing
the
it
road
back to
set.
plausible.
Yeah. But
certainly we don't really want much information, so
Yeah.
if we're doing too much, we should stop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a very
Yep, understood.
Yeah.
Understood. I was just wondering how much burden are you accepting? Obviously, you're accepting, hosting burden. Are you
Yeah.
accepting all the other sort of things that come with hosting a service for another project, or is that part of what NumFocus is offering you? Or
I guess
like,
yeah, we probably have to figure that out. That's
Okay.
something I think
Yeah.
we've not.
Okay. Maybe you can repeat the question, but
yeah, it's
That
working.
was something we should follow up on that. I think that's a good point to bring up.
Questions?
So yeah, to be concrete about plausible, what it's taking as a data right now, it's the platform you're in, the page you're entering the website with, and the page you're exiting, the version of the browser you're using, and I think that's it. So yeah, not much. I mean, very important information. The browser and the operating system you're using, it's super important for us when we design the website. When we add the feature, we want to make sure that most people will be able to see the feature we're adding. That's
I'm guessing a number of projects will want to adopt some specs. Do you have any plan on having badges to say this project adopts that many
Yes.
specs, it's a
Yeah.
project of that much quality?
Yeah, we need to figure out how to present it, but yeah, that's definitely the plan to have projects saying that they're what are you saying? What's the word you're using?
Adopting, I think, is the for all projects. So
Uh,
all projects endorsed. And
yeah, endorsement,
all projects
exactly.
adopt.
So we want to say to advertise that this project is endorsing the specs and everything.
That part, but the adoption we want to make.
Yeah. What we still need to think about is whether or not we want at some point. It will be we have a steering committee with people from NumPy, SciPy, and everything, and we need to discuss if at some point maybe we want to have some spec which would be kind of compulsory, and some which are optional. A bit like Europe, the way it's working. You have some regulation which are enforced, and some others which are optional for members. Maybe at some point we will want to have that to ensure that there is a ground, a base which is common across the projects. This we have to figure out and to discuss with all the projects involved if that's something we want to do.
Yeah, we're happy for more steering committee members to give more direction and figure this stuff out.
So at NonFocus, we're thinking about starting a project kind of like outreachy, but for open science. So having mentorship for people who are starting in tech. And as you were saying, like to have project statistics, like this is something that we don't have, and it's super relevant to apply to grants. So I think that's like great. And my question is, have you been thinking about like maybe how to measure diversity inside of open science and this kind of stuff? Is there someone in the group thinking about this kind of stuff?
I don't think we started on that topic. We started to think about accessibility, to have a spec on accessibility, but not really. I don't think this spec encompasses how to measure the diversity in our projects. I don't think we have something like that, but that's definitely on scope with what we would want to do. Yeah.
Cool. And also, like another thing is, are these, because I think a tool that's very useful for people who own open source projects is to be able to actually see this kind of stuff, like the project statistics and these other views things. And is this code available? Do you intend to like package it into a little library and offer it to like open source maintainers? Or?
So yeah, most of the thing we're doing is available on our GitHub. So it's just we have an org on GitHub, Scientific Python, and we have something like 20 repositories, and almost everything. I think everything that we do is there. It's hosted there. So yeah, it's completely freely available for all projects to use and rely on. Yeah.